This screencast is going to discuss how to calculate molecular formulas. So molecular formula can be calculated if the molar mass of the molecule is known and you know the empirical formula. The molecular formula can end up being the same as the empirical formula, as I discussed earlier with water. So water is the actual formula of the compound, this is the molecular formula, but it's also the empirical formula because it's the lowest whole number ratio. And the way that we calculate it, we could use a few formulas. So we could see essentially how many times heavier is your molecular formula than your empirical formula. And so this is with example number 18. I just rewrote the equation here. So if I know the molar mass of my molecular formula and divided by my molar mass of my empirical formula, I can see that factor. So here we don't know what the molecular formula is because it's a determinant. So I left it as molecular formula. But for empirical formula, we know what that is because it's asking about the compound above, the P2O5. So I'm going to write P2O5 right here. Now we can start to plug in some numbers. It says determine the molecular formula if the compound above has a molar mass of 283.33. So this number right here, this is the molar mass of your molecular formula because it's of your compound. So in the numerator, I'm going to put 283.33 grams per mole. And then in the denominator, I'm going to calculate the molar mass of P2O5. So to calculate the molar mass of P2O5, I have to look back at the periodic table. So we have 2 phosphoruses and 5 oxygens. So I'm going to do 2 times 30.97 plus 5 times 16 from the oxygen. And then once I do that, that's also in grams per mole, it will be 283.33 divided by 141.94. And then once I punch that into my calculator, I get the number of 1.99612, which is so close to the number 2 that I'm going to go ahead and round it to the number 2. Okay, so the number should be close. For my final answer, okay, I guess almost at my final answer, my empirical formula was P2O5. Okay, so if my empirical formula is P2O5, this is telling me, after I do my calculations, that my molecular formula is 2 times heavier than my empirical formula. Okay, it's 2 times heavier. So what I would do with the subscripts is I would multiply them by 2 because it's 2 times heavier. So instead of P2O5, it's going to be P4O10. And this is my final answer for molecular formula. And I could also double check. So if I double check and in my calculator, I punched in 4 times 30.97 plus 10 times 16 to calculate the molar mass, I should get this number here.